All right.
Hey.
I don't know what it is lately. I can't be in the silent. So I always have my AirPods in, and now I understand why people listen to podcasts. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm
2 years
always
in,
trying to
people.
find something.
If that makes the intro, 2 years in.
You know what I mean, though? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not a big audio. Actually, audio, I thought of you more than not. I misspoke, not the podcast. Audio versions of books. Like,
I love it. I love,
but I didn't really
it.
get that before. But now I
Yeah.
totally understand why people and podcasts.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with No Reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Thank you for taking a seat at the table tonight. We are continuing the This Is Us series, unless it's called something else. And this evening's episode, today's episode, is featuring Jenn Dunn. At the table with me today, I've got Kim McIsaac.
Hello.
Tabitha Cabrera.
Hello.
Jamie Ramos.
Hi.
Jenn Dunn.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Rachel Flanagan. And again, tonight's episode is about Jenn Dunn. Jenn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I am Jenn. I am the mother of a 13-year-old daughter, Kaya Alexandra. She is on the autism spectrum. We live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I write about her on Facebook at Keeping Up with Kaya. I have a website that I don't use, but it is also keepingupwithkaya.com. So don't visit it, but it's there.
It's
mine. There. So pay for the domain.
It's common over here. We do the Facebook well, and
that's all I've got in the tank. That's it.
Yeah. Well, as our listeners know, we have a whole bunch of questions that we're featuring in this series, and then a little sweet love at the end. So I am going to get started by asking you, Jenn, what is your favorite place on earth outside of being with Kaya and family?
I have a feeling she's not going to say Disney.
Yeah,
definitely not going to be the happiest place on earth. As I was looking at these questions, I had some realizations about myself, and I'll talk about that towards the end. But honestly, my favorite place on earth to be is at home. It's at home. I love being in my home.
And if we were to set the scene for the people, I would say a fire is lit. It's probably like the evening. This is your favorite time. Maybe the sun is setting. You've got this blue sky, this beautiful thing, and then the pool, and then the fire lit. I think that's your favorite.
Yep, the fire's lit right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Cyrus, my cat, loves it. He loves it.
Her cat loves it. So does the cat's mom, by the way. Okay. The second question is, what is something people would never guess just by looking at you?
I am compulsive AF. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that, but just by looking, I suppose, you wouldn't know how compulsive I am.
Unless they were to see you dumping trash someplace.
That's true. Yeah, I did go through that phase, didn't I?
Yeah,
that was a doozy.
Okay, looking back on your life, who or what instantly makes you light up?
My Auntie Mary McClay.
I love your stories about
love that.
Her.
Me too.
Yeah, she is the best in the whole world. Yeah.
If you could rekindle a passion with an old hobby, what would it be, and what do you miss about it?
Sleep. Not that it was actually ever a hobby.
That's
a good answer.
Not that it was actually a hobby, but it would be lovely to get a little. So a little of that.
That's a great.
None of us need to ask what you miss about it.
Just have at it.
What does your best day look like? What are you wearing? Where are you going? Who are you with? What are you going to do?
My best day is waking up to a clean house after Yolanda's been here, which is a given. Get up, clean house. My baby is sleeping. She's 13, but she's sleeping in, so she gets some rest. Get up, have a shower, put on clean pajamas, turn the fire on. That is a perfect day for me. I love being home in clean pajamas and just enjoying the day. That is a perfect day for me. Don't ask for much. Just clean, quiet.
I'm like, what are you eating? What else? What's happening? Okay, what is your favorite childhood memory?
Going to my grandma Dunn's every Saturday night. We would have popcorn and watch TJ Hooker, and I would roll in like Heather Locklear, do a somersault and come up. Right when it was the opening, had it down to timed out. And I went every single Saturday night until we moved from Michigan to Vancouver when I was 14. I never missed a Saturday night with my grandma.
Love that.
Yeah.
If you could meet anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would it be?
My grandma Dunn. I was really close to my grandma. When we moved from Michigan to BC, we drove out, we had all of our stuff. And we bought walkie-talkies that her and I could talk on until we just couldn't anymore. And I remember how it would fade and then I'd get a little reception and then it would fade and get a little reception. And it was really hard. I was really close to her. I went home every summer. When I graduated high school, I went and lived with her back in Michigan and I worked for a year. I was really close with my grandma.
I love that. I think that those relationships really define people. Like having someone older that you're under their wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the happiest day of your life?
Obviously, when my daughter was born, April 6, 2010, best day of my life.
Love that. Switching gears, what is your biggest insecurity?
My weight. Up, down, yo-yo, bing, pong, bing, 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 dong. Bing.
Really? We're
I know. Shocking. Shocking.
How do you know when you can trust someone?
You just know. Feel it in my soul.
Yeah.
My gut. Yeah.
Okay. How do you move through big feelings?
I shut down. That's how I deal with it. I shut down.
Yeah.
That's just, then I have to work through it on my own. And then I come up from the
Yeah.
the bowels of it all.
Would you rather live one day longer than your child with additional needs or have access to the dream team and placement for them?
I would want to live one additional day to be with her. That's just me. My biggest fear is when I'm gone.
Yeah.
Great team in place or not, it won't be me.
Yeah.
That's just so that's why it's my greatest fear is leaving her.
How do you explain your child's diagnosis to people?
I don't really explain it anymore. I just say my daughter's autistic or my daughter's on the spectrum. I used to go into these great lengths of explaining it, almost explaining it away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Early on in the in that process.
Yeah.
Now I just proudly say my daughter's autistic.
Yeah.
Like
It makes a
we
lot of
just,
sense, Jen, too,
Yeah.
because if you think about it, like back then, probably people didn't know as much early on
Yeah.
the bag.
yeah, and now they they know, like we walked off the plane and I said, kid, you just kicked autism's ass. And I just high-fived her. And it's like, on we went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What relationships have been most impacted by Kaya's diagnosis?
Kaya's dad and I definitely are impacted. My friendships were definitely impacted. I think my family was impacted for the better, if that makes sense. We became closer. They really took an interest in learning about Kaya and autism. And so that was really wonderful and supportive. But every other level of relationships in my life changed. Everything. Yeah. Because I've said it 1,000 times, people are probably sick of hearing it, but I fundamentally changed as a person. So there's no way that the relationships around me couldn't change.
Right.
I was, bitter and people's lives went on, which of course they went on. Now in hindsight, what an asshole am I to be bitter for people that their lives didn't freeze in that moment and they carried on, of course they carried on. Their lives weren't impacted by this life.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had the chance to build your dream center or community, what would the cornerstone of your offering be?
So I thought a lot about this, but I don't know because, it's always what our kids can't do. So it would really be about what they can do. And then I think about things that are hard for my daughter, haircuts, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I've thought a lot about it and I don't really have a definite answer yet, but just what they can't do, they can't. And then kind of build around that.
Yeah.
Which I would use my daughter, of course, as sort of a
Your
base
muse.
found. Huh?
Your muse.
Oh, I thought you said I'm muted. I'm like, I am.
No.
Yeah. And sort of kind of build off of that. Like what sort of struggles I see her having.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what is your biggest dream for yourself outside of your friends? I'm sorry, your family and kids.
So this is when I realized that I don't have any dreams for myself anymore. And I don't say that in a woe is me kind of way, but when I thought about it, I was very career driven prior to autism. And even after I had Kaya, prior to the diagnosis, I still worked full-time in an office. I traveled extensively for work. I had these big career goals. Not that, I'm very thankful. I have my job and I put all of it into my job, but it's not I'm at where I'm at, and I don't have these huge career goals ahead of me anymore. I don't know, autism changed that. It just did. And I don't mean that in, again, like a woe is me kind of way, but the dream shifted from me a long time ago. That my dreams are for my daughter now.
I feel that so much.
Yeah.
The career,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's so common to like adjust your sails so many times that like suddenly you just don't even know what the goal would be. Like you're not.
Just to be clear, I'm still taking applications for a husband, but past that, it's just not a lot there right now. No. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much for answering. I know that the next part, maybe you should mute for just in case you blubber like your homegirl Rachel. But I have to tell you that we all want to tell you what makes you special to us. And I will go first. I want you to know, Jenn Dunn, that I just love you so much. I feel like having a front row seat to watching you become as confident and as comfortable as you are right now in your journey has been inspiring. The way that you mom and you balance grace with strength in this chapter of Kaya's life gives me so much hope. And the way that you meet me where I'm at as your friend is just about the most heartwarming feature. I just love you so much, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
Love you.
I was laughing. I'm like, yes, because I'm so flexible.
Yeah. I don't think I said flexible.
I'll go next. Jenn Dunn. I was thinking back to when we first met, and one of my all-time favorite things about you is you take everything in with this overflowing spirit. So if you're talking about something that you're passionate about, it's like 10,000%. If you're trying to support us in any way, it's 10,000%. You just are always showing up with this beautiful energy. And I don't think you think of yourself that way, but like one of the first times that I was like, man, I need to be friends with her. It was about politics specifically, because we kind of talk about that in our private stuff a lot. And you always keep me updated on the US politics over here. You know more about our country than I do.
It's really something.
But you have this natural way of drawing people in. And I think your writing and your honesty and your open book spirit is not something that many people have, and I think it's beautiful, and I love that about you. And you are always showing up for us and trying to support us and give us resources, and I've learned so much about myself through you, because I think we're similar in a lot of the ways of our trajectory of our life have gone, and I connect with you that way. But you're just really an amazing friend and person, and come at everything with just a spirit like no one else. Firecracker. I love you. Firecracker in all senses, with the love and the political stance.
I'm thinking of starting a side podcast on the political stuff just for fun, but
you should. I love you with all my heart. You're so great.
I love you too.
Fire. It's interesting because that's what I was thinking of when I think of Jenn. Not just for the false alarms, but what I love about you is you wear your heart on your sleeve. You also have your heart very guarded, but you also wear your heart on your sleeve. And I really can relate to that because I feel like I'm very similar. But what I really love about you is the way you react to situations, because you react in a way that like we all want to react, but don't always do it. And you just take the words right out of my mouth. So it is so refreshing though to sometimes just have someone be honest and just get it all out there. I love that about, and I love that even though you have that fiery spirit and maybe a little feisty, a little quick to react sometimes, you also, no matter what you're going through, like if I'm not doing good on weight loss, you're not like, well, you should just do what I do and like do keto. And and a lot of people are like that when they're doing something, they expect other people to be able to do that, and you don't do that. But at the same time, when somebody is doing it, you're the first one to encourage them. You're the first one to congratulate them. You're the first one to say, Oh my God, that's so awesome that Alyssa did that, even though it's something so minor that like I know would be like so easy for Kaya. So sometimes you don't realize that that understanding is being there, and for you to really be able to like really truly be a cheerleader for her is just, you know, that's an incredible thing, and it's so genuine, and I love that so much about you. And also you just make me laugh my ass off.
Yes, you're so funny. I was gonna say that too, Jen. You
Yeah,
know, I
yeah.
would
Absolutely.
cry
Absolutely.
from
Oh,
tears.
thank you.
I just love you to
laughing
death.
at it. Yeah.
Thank you. I love you too.
Um,
Hey, James, what you got? No, I'm just kidding.
I've got nothing.
I just didn't
Yeah,
prepare that
that's-
ahead of time. Just
I have nothing to say. Just kidding. Jen, I don't know. You know, I love you. I feel like I remember the first time I ever saw you got like really pissed off about something. I always thought like, oh, I never want to get on her bad side. And what I love about that is that you are like the greatest defender of all time. Like I always know you'll have my back because we are that close. And I feel like we know each other so well now. Like we're so different. I mean, like Kim always says, we'd never be friends in real life, but we really aren't that different. Like getting to know each other. I feel like mine and your bluntness matches up a lot, although you're a little louder and curse a little
Elevated.
bit about it.
Elevated at times.
But I love that about you because I know you're always there for me, and you are the first one to speak up when something's wrong, and you have no problem defending people or speaking your mind, which I admire so much. I think you're an amazing. Okay, this is future Jamie cutting in. My internet froze and I didn't get to finish, but I wanted to say I'm also grateful that if either of us went missing, we would know the other's exact height and weight, because you're always keeping me updated on your weight, and I occasionally keep you updated on mine when I'm trying. Also, I was saying when I was frozen that you are one of the most amazing moms I have ever seen. You work so hard in your career and in your personal life to support Kaya on your own, and I admire that so much. I love you very much, Jen.
I never realized how hard parenting by yourself was until I had to do it. And that is seriously the hardest job on the earth. And you've been doing it for years and years and years, and it's incredible. You're
Thank
back.
you, ladies. I love you all so much.
I
Love you so much. Yeah, we do.
I love you all so much. Thank you,
Oh,
ladies.
she's back.
For the love. I'm gonna call this James. Say bye, everybody.
It just kicked me out. I was just
We don't-
talking. It just ejected me. Hold on.
Zoom told Jen that you think she's a shitty mom.
And you're the
Zoom
worst
had-
mom.
Zoom had something to say about it.
Jamie,
Thank you, Jamie.
Twice. I
You
love
went-
you.
I
you
love
went
you.
from
Something
like
together.
facts to like, I go, she's disconnected her own router because she doesn't want to answer.
I hate this so much that I do not want to say anything.
I hate this so much.
if you want to know what she thinks, you need to decipher all that.
So Jenn Dunn, we love you so much. And to our listeners, we want to let you know that Kimmy McIsaac is up next. We cannot wait for next week. Have a good one.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you for joining us at the table for this episode of the Table for Five No Reservations podcast. Big thank you to all of our supporters. If you would like to become a supporter, please check out the description of this episode, where you will also find episode information, how to sign up for our newsletter, and find links to us individually. Join us next Monday for more, and while you wait, check out our content on Facebook and Instagram. If you are enjoying the podcast, please subscribe and rate and review us wherever you listen. To contact us, you can email us at tablefor5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next week. Can't wait to sit with you again.